YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this. We've got the Vanque or Vanque or we don't know. We've got a chainsaw thing because we know you guys love when we review chainsaws. Fancy dance. This one, unlike our last 4-incher, actually has an oiling system. It is full of oil. We'll show how we do it in the unbox build video, which will be coming right at the end of this. So just stay tuned if you're curious. And we're running on a 20 volt 4 amp hour battery. It's got a charger that comes with it and then a clip-in lanyard that's like this. And we've had nice clear weather all day until we decided we were gonna get ready to film. And so here we go. So this thing extends super easy, but it doesn't extend that much more than what you have anyway. This comes off, we'll show you that too. And then of course, oh yeah, baby. Then you can change the angles of this. There's 3 set points, one in the middle, and then one at the end. So I'm assuming we'll just start there. And you're supposed to not exceed 60 degrees of cut angle. So something like that probably. This would be 90, this would be 60, this would be 30, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna walk. Let's take a nature walk. We do this sometimes. I just cut the grass this morning. That was fun. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna cut some tree limbs too now, which is pretty exciting. It's all in a day's work because yesterday it was winter and today it's summer. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much, as you can see, the grass is getting tall. It was really tall everywhere actually earlier. Really tall. So we're gonna target this area over here and we're gonna take down a couple of branches that are a little bit scary to us. So camera crew, let's go over there. Which bridge are we gonna take? Are we
going across the bridge?
Yeah, we gotta go across the bridge because I wanna take down those weird ones over there.
Well, then let's go Kid Bridge, I guess.
Kid Bridge, okay. So we've been working like crazy trying to get the yard ready for the season. Well, actually we've all been working, but it never seems to be done.
Nope.
And when you have an acreage, especially one that's like ours with lots of ups and downs and trees and valleys and things like that, it complicates everything. So that's part of the reason why we're excited to bring you this product and review it, because we're always curious about these electric things because there's so many of them out there. Who knows what garbage is out there, you know? So look at the pretty flowers.
I know.
I saved some for you.
Thanks. We have all these pretty purple, I think it's Creeping Charlie.
What is it?
Creeping Charlie. I think
Why
that's
is
what
he
it
so
is.
creepy?
Not creepy, creeping.
Okay.
But it's super pretty. The kids
Did you
have been
like show
picking
where
them.
you were walking and stuff on the bridge?
Yeah, on the bridge. They've seen the Kid Bridge.
I know, but you like never point the camera out where you're walking. So that's the branch I have in mind. That's not, you got to move so I can see the one behind it.
Really?
That's what I have in mind. I want to start with that one.
Oh, man.
It's kind of a big one. Show them how high it goes.
This one right here. This, yeah.
Yeah, because that branch scares me with the kids playing. Because it's just like right there in the middle of business.
So
Maybe we could start with the smaller one.
Yeah, that's...
How about that one? How about that one?
Okay.
Let's see if we can reach it for one thing.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to go straight up on this one. Oh, I'm ready to be disappointed, people. So that's not 60 degrees, but I think it'll do. Holy crap, that actually worked. You guys see? Go up there and show them. Don't stand right under it, obviously.
Staying back here in safety.
Look. That was so quick. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the other side.
Okay.
Don't stand directly under it.
I'm going back.
Okay, because it's kind of leaning that way anyway. Okay. There it goes. That was a dead branch.
That was definitely dead.
Okay, let's show the people up close how big that was. That was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be terrible because we've used a lot of products like this and they usually pretty much just suck.
Mostly disappointing.
So that was amazing. And look how big this thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's a pretty dead piece of wood, but.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna spare you guys the cleanup because obviously that takes a lot of time. But I'm almost thinking that other branch is dead too. Holy cow, that's way bigger. Ha! I could have cut the whole thing it was attached to. Let's do that next.
Wait, that whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, hold on.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, so what?
It's made, I'm halfway through it. Holy crap, are you kidding me? That
Also-
was a little bit huge.
Also very dead.
Okay, so let's show the people at home. I'm 6'1". That's probably 3 times as tall as me. So that's 18 feet that we just cut off. Holy crap. That could have killed somebody.
That was very dead.
Yeah, so you may not want to limb your tree with this either. I was just going to suggest. Is there another branch on this one that's dead, or is that pretty much it? Hey, do you want to cut this one down right here?
The whole tree?
Yeah, this little one.
Yeah.
We lost this tree last year.
This one.
It's gone.
Yep.
It's never coming back. We'll have to cut it down here pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge one when it does come down. So, but the cool thing is that worked amazing. I didn't know what to expect, but I can say the thing just ripped through it. It was no problem at all. Okay, where else are we cutting?
Well, so maybe we could go back and do that other one. I was.
How about
really nervous.
this? How about this? Let's show them a little one. I want to go upwind because it's just going to fall in my face otherwise. Oh crap, is that one dead too? This whole branch? It looks a little bit on the deadish side.
It might be.
Holy cow, that's a big one too. Oh no, this one looks like it's dead too.
No, the one right above your head, closer to me, there's green.
Is there green? But there's only a little bit of green. Like it's in recovery mode.
To be honest, hon, almost the whole half of this tree looks dead.
That's because it got burned.
Yeah.
Because some idiot did a fire here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it, guys. Okay, I'm gonna change the angle this time so that I can lay flat because it's so huge. Oops. Need to get that back out there. It's got a bike, kind of like a bike seat adjustment tool for adjusting. Works pretty dang good though. I don't know, I'm super impressed with this. I didn't know what to think. Here it goes. Oh yeah, that's a huge tree. Holy crap. This thing works really good. I can't believe how good this is working. It's like legit chainsaw. Okay, let's see if we can release that at least, because that's a little bit scary. You can't really push with it. Okay.
Woo.
Wow. That's like a 20-foot branch, guys. Look how huge this is. That did really stinking good. Amazing. Look, The blade isn't even as deep as the cut.
Yeah.
Super impressed. Did not expect that. I mean, I'm definitely happy. I want to keep going.
Great.
Yeah, that one needed to go bad.
That whole tree needs to go.
It is kind of uggo, isn't it?
Well, I don't see any.
Okay, folks, if you've ever done limbing on trees, it is a huge pain in the neck, okay? Not with this tool. Holy cow. By far the worst part's gonna be picking up the branches.
I was gonna say, who comes out to pick up all the stuff?
I don't know, maybe our subscribers can. So, one other thing to keep in mind, if you don't have another chainsaw, you're gonna be limbing with this tool, but you wanna give them a close up. And it's gonna start raining here, so. You gonna get a close up? Okay. So it still gets stuck just like any other saw you've ever used. I can't believe how fast it cuts. It's just eager to please, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. That is just incredible how well this works. I didn't expect it to be that good, but it totally is. All right, let's go to the death trap one.
Okay.
Do you want to try it, camera crew?
Nope.
Come on, try one.
Great.
Let's do one. We got to show a lady
I am
using it.
not prepared for.
Dang it, it's raining. Why do
tree
you
work.
have to rain now, Mother
know.
Nature?
We need
This
to
one's
rain, though.
really gross, hon.
Wait.
What, this one?
Oh, that one? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not the whole thing. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious. Just part of it.
I'm standing on this side so the wind's not blowing at me.
Yeah, it's better over here by far.
Yeah.
The angle helps a lot. I didn't know if it would.
That one is this one that goes way out over our ravine where our creek is. This little grouping here of 4 trees, kind of that Brian's standing in the middle of, this is a huge, we loved these trees when we first moved out here. And we were really concerned about losing
Nice.
the big one to Brian's left because it really blocks from this property, which we didn't own, but now
Camera
that we
crew, let's
do
go.
own it. We're a little bit less concerned. We just want to get that tree down safely. And it is really like raining, so.
I can't reach that one.
You can't reach.
Too
That's
high.
just a little chunk though.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
So
if it really starts raining hard, we'll have to be done. But then look, it's about to be sunny. What the
Yeah,
heck,
I know.
Mother Nature?
we need the rain though, so.
So, hon, I want to get that one down right there bad.
Okay, so you're gonna have to go to the island and then I'm gonna go like way
Oh, really?
away from you.
Okay, let's try the island.
So he's looking at, while he's walking down there. So this branch comes off. This one is still alive. Sorry, it's focusing on my hand. And then, but this one is dead and it goes way up into this tree. So then they all kind of rub on each other when we have bad storms and stuff. So I don't know where he's gonna stand. I'm gonna have to go way back because I think it's getting
Okay, hon.
me.
You ready?
Yeah, do you have an exit strategy?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna go way up here.
I just think it's gonna go towards you.
I'm way back. Let's see if I can't even hardly get the whole thing in the shot. There we go. This is the top. This little enough branches over this way.
I can tuck back here.
Yeah, if you need to. He's kind of on a little island. Those trees surrounding him. Shortly after actually it was before we bought this property, but after we started looking at it, we had one night where we got multiple inches of rain in just a couple hours, and pretty much that whole creek basin behind him was full of water, which is like about 20 feet deep in most places. And so we have a few spots where trees came down and the ground came out and then just literally went like sat down, so it kind of just fell off, but the trees are still standing up right there. So it's just kind of a little island that you can jump to it from the edge because it's pretty much full of dead branches. So that's why those trees are lower. That whole section of 4 trees came off the edge. This will probably be a good test for how long the battery's going to last too. I'm guessing that that's
Careful.
maybe like a 10-inch diameter branch.
It's starting to fall, so watch out.
Yep.
I'm gonna stand behind the tree.
Okay.
Let me know when it's down.
It's
Woo! That was a big one.
I thought it was gonna get stuck in that other tree, but it just cracked. I mean, it's so dead.
Hey, is the other big one dead?
Hold on, I have dust in my eye.
This one here? Or is it a lot? There's growth on it.
Yeah. The other one's not dead.
That one was huge.
Yeah,
I've been so worried about that one.
we've been looking at that one for a while.
And I mean, super impressed would be an understatement. This thing is working great. It did shut off on that cut halfway.
Oh, okay.
But I just started it right back up and it went. So obviously I'm gonna come out with a regular chainsaw and cut it up because it'll be like super fast to cut them up with the regular chainsaw. This thing is just really doing better than I expected. Now let's show you how much the chain has expanded since we started. There's a little bit of tightness that needs to be added. So I'm gonna come up there and show you how to do that. So if you get this tool, one of the things you have to know how to do is after a little bit, you'll have to tighten the chain. So you can unlock this, tighten it, and then torque it back down. That is toolless. Now let's check the oil. Camera crew, you go to the other side. This is level. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh, yeah, right there.
How much?
Oh, it's down maybe a quarter.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, let's go find some more because this is pretty good. Our hope was to kind of try to do about whatever it took for a full battery, but we may run out of limbs by then.
Well, no, but.
Okay, where are we going, camera crew?
Well,
Help
hey,
me.
can you get that little ugly thing right at that little teeny tiny chunk right over the deadfall bridge? Just that little,
oh yeah, the dead one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a waste of chainsaw, but yeah.
Well, I know.
That thing?
Yeah, doesn't look very pretty.
I don't know if it's actually gonna need to be cut. Ooh, that's a bad spot to stand. This is the engineering on this bridge was a little bit subpar. There you go.
I'd file a complaint, but.
What about that?
Yeah, that's a pretty junky one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I realize that we'll probably prune more in this video than some people have in their yards.
Yeah.
But you gotta prune trees if you want them to work. Okay. Prune trees always do better.
And when we first moved out here, we were super concerned about taking trees
Ooh,
down.
dead stuff. Let's go get it.
On that side?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be able to reach it though. Do you see?
Oh.
There's some dead stuff. I don't know if I can reach that even with this pole. Let's try.
This one here.
I don't know.
There's one on the other side of that tree too.
I know. Okay.
Okay.
I'm actually like amazed how easy this is. I thought it was gonna be such a pain. This is a weird spot. Okay, dead limb right here too. All right, what's next?
Up here, there's a couple. There's a couple on this tree that we've talked about. One I don't think you're gonna be able to reach, but
Okay.
you might want to just take this whole big one.
All right, let's take a look at it.
Okay. That looks nice. I'm glad you could reach those too.
Yeah, those ones were right. Look on the kids' area.
Yeah.
There was
this is right where the
branches
kids
down
play.
there.
Yep. They have their play like mud kitchen down there, and they can get water out of the creek.
Okay, so which one?
So-
Oh, the whole big long one?
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, this tree's probably not doing real great.
no, it's not. It might help it.
Well, there
There
is some
is-
life at the end,
Yeah.
but not after we're done with this. That angle helps to get it on the other side of the log.
So this one goes way out kind of to the edge, but there's only a little teeny bit of growth on it. And you can see there's dead up here. Actually, the whole middle of the tree is dead and gone, and it's kind of just the two main branches. So if we can get rid of this one that's not really helping the tree, then hopefully those two tall ones, because it is a tall tree going all the way up. This one's just kind of a
That's a huge one, hon.
Yep.
I undercutted that one. That's probably the most healthy one we've cut so far.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's dead. You can see the bugs in it, or the bug tracks in it. Not even breaking a sweat. It does help to be taller doing this. Oh yeah, that thing's got to go.
Can you get
Yeah.
that? Ooh, nice.
I'll have to be Johnny on the spot getting out of the way.
Yeah.
That whole center part's rotten.
And it goes. It's not a very big branch, but it does go up to the side.
Woo-hoo! That was probably the closest to being dangerous we've done. And that one we didn't even know about.
Yeah.
Just think about the danger that you don't even know about that's right above your head. It's crazy. You don't think about it unless you're out here in the middle of a storm and it's blowing like crazy.
Yeah.
But even in the calm, that stuff can fail right at the worst time when the kid's standing there. So this is a big safety thing. If you can get in there and prune things up, especially in the high traffic areas. There's that I would like to do, but I don't know if I can reach it. See
I'd
it?
be super surprised if you can get that.
I can only hit the end.
Yeah.
I mean, can at least bring that down. What else? This one looks terrible. And that's a tall tree growing straight. Yeah, it sounds right in my eyes. Perfect. What about the one next to it? That's behind it on its sister tree. Yeah, let's do that too.
Okay.
So I guess honestly, my big thing on this is that sometimes the body gets in the way a little bit. Okay. This tree looks pretty dead.
Well, there's a little bit of growth at the top, but not
Really?
much. Yeah.
Should I prune this? Oh, there's growth down here.
Yeah.
I think usually the rule is 6 feet. If you're looking for a rule.
6 feet of what?
6 feet. You cut them up above 6 feet.
Oh.
The branches, if you're gonna prune up. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, then you get these ugly trees like this, where this branch hanging down is just gonna block the view across. It's not gonna hardly do anything for the tree's health. So you're just wasting nutrition on it. So if you can get rid of that limb, the tree only has to provide nutrition for the rest of itself. And it's trying to reach up. Yeah, that dead one there.
Yeah.
I see what you're talking about. Watch yourself though, I'm gonna throw this out. Yeah, I probably have to go around here.
Can you reach that one?
This
though?
cherry is so cool.
Yeah.
It's one of the few that's actually healthy on our property.
But it grows, it's growing down in that way. So it fell at some point. Now it's gone straight up. It's one of our nicest cherry trees that we have.
Okay, I'm gonna get this one first.
Oh, okay.
You gonna show them what I'm doing here? Okay, good. And then this one here.
That one's gonna be super awkward.
Yeah, we'll see if I can get it. Yeah, that is awkward. Oh my goodness. Now I just need it to be shorter like that. Jeez, the thing I was standing on was vicious. I'm having to woodchuck it. Okay, let's see if I can come through over here. I'll re-extend it. This thing is pretty versatile too, I'm surprised. You know, I didn't really know what to expect when we knew we were gonna get this thing, but I am so glad we did.
Nice.
Wow, not bad at all, guys. Not bad at all. Okay, so how much more do you think we should film of this thing, camera crew?
I don't know.
I feel like they kind of get the point, but at the
Yeah.
same time, this is awesome. Like, what a great tool. And limbing up trees is not a fun process usually.
No.
And honestly, my biggest issue is now we got to come out and clean it up.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because some of those limbs are pretty dangerous. And then you see this limb here, the low limb. That limb is not going to add to the tree's height. It's just it's gonna retard the growth. If I cut that tree limb there and that limb there, then it's gonna keep going up more. So I would like to do that, but I'm sort of torn because it's out over the top of the, you know, the ditch here. Did you see? Did you show the people down here? This is the creek. It keeps going through. That's a cherry there, I think, that fell. That was a storm before we bought the property.
Yeah.
But you can see all the way across. You see over there, did some dirt work over there last year. And we reclaimed that little section. Oh, looks like that branch. We could probably prune some of those branches on that tree too.
It's getting hard to see because it's so sunny right now.
Oh, really?
But
Oh, the screen?
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can see really good. Well, what do you think about these ones?
I think you could probably take those two that you were talking about.
Okay, let's do
there,
that.
the clouds.
Nice. The clouds help us for filming too, guys. See? Knock that down in the ditch better. There you have it. So
Cool.
easy, so quick, and it works really well. We haven't even used up a whole thing of barn chain oil, which is just amazing. And that's what's gonna make this thing run. We did a little chainsaw, a little electric chainsaw here not too long ago, about a year ago. And I think it was a 4-inch long unit. And I just felt like, even though it worked better than I expected, it'd be great for somebody that's in town that doesn't really want to have barn chain oil sitting around and doesn't need a chainsaw. Maybe you got like 4 small trees in your yard like we would have in our last house. But you're just gonna stretch out the chain. It's gonna get hot, you're gonna stretch it out, it's gonna be garbage. So I feel like this is way better, way better. One thing to be really sweet on this is if you could take off the bottom and just go to a handheld saw too, because that would be nice. But I mean, it's just looking up in the trees, I just have this whole new perspective on what I can trim out.
Right.
And make it look nice, because it really does make it look a lot more kept. And the more you get sunlight into the floor of the forest, the more grass you're gonna get, the more proper coverage. Like this stuff, this is where we had like burn piles, okay? So this is what happens. The grass will eventually work its way back in here, but it's gonna take forever. But what happens is you'll get things that are invasive species will block the light getting to the ground. And so if you don't take them out, then they're just gonna like overtake everything, because they're gonna be unnaturally, they're gonna have an unfair advantage against all the naturally occurring stuff. And so we've been working against honeysuckle like crazy, because years ago, the DNR decided to plant a bunch of it. And then the DNR later came back and said, that's not a good idea, because it's too hardy here. So it overwhelms the natural stuff.
And when we first purchased this, from where Brian is standing, this tree line that goes around, to wherever the creek edge is, you could not walk from, you know, where Brian was to the creek.
No, you didn't even know there was a hole here.
Yeah, because it was so thick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very different now. And it's still beautiful. The birds still love it. It's way prettier, and it handles the storms and stuff better.
Yeah.
Because every time you have a storm, when everything is so close together, they hit each other. These trees, a few of them are tangled. Like you see these two gigantic trees, you see how big that tree is? That's the tree on the top that you're seeing. It's going down and then it turns. It goes to the other side.
Yep.
And so really by rights, if I was trying to really propagate healthy trees, I would get rid of that tree. But the thing is, I love that tree and it's so huge, I just can't bring myself to do it. Same thing with the other one, the one that's going up. It's one of the tallest trees on our property. And I don't want to give it up, but you know, if you guys love trees like we do, then you need this tool by Vanque or Vanque or Vanque, or what other ways could we say it? Vanque. Either way, I like this tool. It's good. Let's pull off the battery and see what kind of life we've got left. Balance is way better with the battery in there. Okay, so it looks like red and orange, but no green. So that means it would go for a while longer. We had planned on doing until the battery died, but I feel like you guys have the point, and we appreciate you staying tuned for the unbox and the assembly part. It's pretty simple. It's pretty limited on what we do, but if you have more questions, we may answer them at the continuing part of this video. But I would say definitely Vanque, Vanque, whatever your name is, good job. We like this thing. It's good. It seems solid. It's nice and strong. It doesn't make you nervous when you're doing it because it's so weak, which you've had that before. And it's not a fiberglass body, which is nice. I like this aluminum body a little bit better than the fiberglass ones. The fiberglass ones are nice because they're, you know, you can go real long with them. But the thing is, I think this thing does what it does. It does it well. And surprisingly, every little feature about it has worked well, with the exception of at some point that motor is going to be in the way. It's going to be in the way, okay? And then at some point, we're not going to be able to get where we need to get. They said brushless, but that looks like a brushed motor to me. I don't know. I kind of doubt it's a brushless motor. I think it's a brushed motor. It says brushless on the battery.
Yeah.
Like, obviously the battery's brushless. It's the battery. There's no brushes in there.
And I'm guessing living where we live, you're going to wish we had 2 batteries.
I don't know. That was a pretty good amount of trimming. Because think about it. If we were doing this off camera, we would be doing that, and then I would have a chainsaw set up, and we'd be trimming up all those pieces and finding piles. So by the time we're done cleaning up when we go off camera, picking up all these small little branches and stuff, you know, it's gonna be another half an hour of cleanup or 45 minutes of cleanup. So I think it's probably an appropriate bite-sized amount of work. So if you're buying this and you think you wanna do more than what we did, you may wanna think about getting a spare battery, or just buy 2 of them, and then you can put your wife to work too, which is what I should have done.
Yeah, because I'm not going to help clean up. Does that mean I'm out of luck? I don't have to clean up?
No. Again, reading into what you're hearing. So,
You can try.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you want to help support our channel, you can buy these weird products that we bring to you on Brian Phillips RC. Yes, it is Brian Phillips RC, as in radio-controlled airplanes and radio-controlled cars, helicopters, trucks, tanks. Also, telescopic chainsaws, regular chainsaws,
Leaf
blowers, torches,
electric bikes,
tractor implements, whatever we have recently
filling
that's important.
Fluid in your tires. If you're looking
fluid
for
in your
something
tires.
really
that is
exciting,
one of the one of the premium videos on Brian Phillips RC. So if you guys are here, the variety channel stuff usually gets us a lot of hate. So if you hate this thing and you don't want to buy it, congratulations. There's lots of other things coming, we totally promise. And at the same time, there's nothing to hate about this. It works great. I love it. The only thing I would like better is if it was longer and a little bit heavier on both ends, so it stayed balanced like it is. And the other thing I would like better is a longer bar, but the longer bar could get you into trouble on certain applications too. So I'm gonna go with, it's pretty good given what it does. I haven't found anything I'm really dislike about it. And the fact that you can actually put oil in it and you can actually get a replacement chain for it.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, admittedly, I couldn't figure out what the chain size is yet, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out when I take it to the store and ask the guy at the store. But for now, if we figure out what that is, we'll link to that in the video description as well. And also, we showed this in the unbox, but I should probably show you this. This is like a, it looks like a bicycle adjustment there. So I was fiddling with that a couple of different times. And it does work pretty good because once you undo that, you can extend the pole or you can retract it to about there. And so it really does make it a lot more compact. One thing about this tool, also, I just want to bring this out as a potential negative. It is still pretty big. If you're trying to put this in your car, you're probably going to have to take it in half, which is just a matter of unscrewing this. Okay. Unscrew here until it comes all the way back. So, I mean, not exactly a big deal.
Right.
So, if you can't fit that in your car, you got a really small car. So, without further ado, stay tuned. We're going to unbox this thing next. Leave your questions and comments in the comment section below, and we'll try our best to get back to you with answers if we can find them. Or if we already have them. And then obviously, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's so much more coming on Brian Phillips RC, and believe us, it's not all leaf blowers.
It's not.
It's not all, but there are going to be a few of those things here and there. And also, if you really want to help support us, we have Patreon and PayPal. Links in the top of the video description, right below. Oh, by the way, if you're on a mobile device and you're trying to figure out where the video description is, I had this question the other day, and I know most of you guys probably know this already, but if you look at the lower right-hand side of your screen, from your perspective, there is a drop-down arrow, and I don't know if it's called a caret, but it looks like a down arrow. If you click on that, it should expand. You'll see the video descriptions, and it's just got hyperlinks. The links that you follow will take you to an item like this, and you can choose whether or not you want to buy it. It's just basically, it takes you to Amazon or wherever we happen to be working with on a particular company. And if you do buy it, then we get small commissions from these companies. You don't pay any extra. We just get a little pat on the back for doing a video for them, which is kind of nice. And that's how we fund our channel. So in case you guys are wondering, that does help. if you put in the comments, hey, I just bought this at the local True Value, and then you've got 47 questions, it's like, okay. Anyway, True Value's there. But this thing is awesome. You should buy from the link, because then you'll help support us and you get the thing you want. So really happy with it. Come back for more, guys. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look what we've got here. We've got a long, skinny box, and you can already tell what it is. Hopefully you've already seen us using it, and we were successful and nobody died. Because we only do safe things on this channel.
I thought you were gonna say you've already seen it fly.
If you see something fly in this video, it could be dangerous. So what we have here is, first of all, a lube bottle. That's always handy. Never know when that's gonna be needed. We have a little box here. Not sure what this is. We'll look at it in a minute. We've got a harness. And then we've got, looks like a charger. And we've got another box which has a little bit of dingage on it. Looks like within this is a battery, okay? So it looks like a pretty high quality. It's got some rubberized stuff here. It says brushless, even though it's a battery. Battery's not brushless. And it's got a release and a power indicator. Well, that's nice. It's actually charged. Okay, didn't expect that. Just throw this away. And what else do we have in here? We have the pole. Amazing. Look at this. Oh, yeah. That is fancy looking. Okay, so obviously this is for a pole saw, which you figured out. There is a safety feature here. Only lets you do it if you push on there. That's where the battery goes. Looks like it's gonna slide in. I don't wanna do that just quite yet. And then there is a hook point, so you can have this supported on your lanyard or strap, whatever you wanna call that. And it looks like this extends. And then look, there's a couple of contact points here. Spring loaded to come back home, which is pretty cool. Don't really understand the spring loaded part, but, and it looks like off of a bicycle. We've got an adjustability for the bite strength, which is really nice. And so far, so good. So we'll see how this goes. So you let that go, and it should self-retract mostly. And then that is how you would tighten that on the next section. So let's go ahead and lay that down. Everything feels high quality. The plastic is nice. There's rubber here and rubber. So you got some nice good grip. I don't even know what's in here. Oh, this is probably the bar. So we'll open that here in a second, but let's get the other half of this unit out. Okay, so this is an electric chainsaw with a telescoping feature, so we can reach up into the trees and obviously get branches and whatnot that are out of reach. It's pretty heavy on this end too. Okay, so it says ET1612 cordless pole chainsaw. Okay, 20 volts, 18 feet per second, 8-inch, made in China. So that's how you unlock that. Super easy, toolless. So far, this is a jam nut of sorts, I believe. Yep, it's just unscrewing from inside there. You can kind of see what's going on there. Brings off the cover. So this, of course, is where you're going to actually put your bar. And then it's got the drive sprocket there. And this is where the lube would go. So it's got automatic lubrication, which is good. I mean, when you have electric chainsaws, you still need to lube them. I do find it curious that there's no lube in there. So I'm assuming we use regular bar and chain oil, which again is pretty viscous. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work with this small bottle. I would assume that most people are gonna use the provided bottle, but you put bar and chain oil in that, that's some thick stuff. I kind of suspect, I do like the lid, but it's not like this is in a carrying case or anything, unless of course you put it back in the box. That's one thing to keep in mind with these things. Chainsaws get messy. I mean, really messy. And that's just the way it is. Because if you don't lubricate them, it don't last long. Okay, so I'm gonna be careful how I slide this out in case it's sharp. Oh, it's got the cover on it for now. Okay, and then there's probably a chain in there. Okay, so you have to put that on. This is empty otherwise now. right, and this is the charger. I'd like to get the charger charging. And our objective, as you can see, it's dark, would be to have this prepared so that we can use it maybe in the morning, do a little bit of trimming, and kind of get things under control. Okay, so the charger looks pretty simple. Only a couple pins go through and touch. Inputs 100 through 120 volts AC at 50 to 60 hertz at 55 watts. That's a pretty good amount of power. 21 volts, 2000 milliamp. Okay, so it's charging at 2 amps. 2 amps at 21 volts DC. Okay, so undo the twisty tie. Nice soft power cord. That's always good to see. 2-prong, no ground, AC input. We're just going to plug it in to our regular outlet there. It goes to a green light. Got some spots where there'd be non-stick or non-slip, but there's no non-slip, so it does slip. And that clicks in. It's got a good positive seat. And in order to release it, you have to press that button. Okay. So if you were to mount this like, you know, on the bottom of a shelf or something weird like that, it would still hold it. I think in our application, I don't see any hanger adapters on there. But maybe I'll figure out a way to strap it on to somewhere so we can do that. It immediately goes red. Red says charging, and then there is a flash red, red, red. That means that it's too hot. So pretty simple stuff there. And then of course we have a manual. And we've got the strap. So we'll just take a quick look at this as we come to it. Kind of an inexpensive spring return clasp. Then we've got this here, which is going to allow you to make it pretty big. I'm a pretty decent sized guy. So let's say I'm 6'1", 275 pounds. And it goes around. I mean, if you're girthier than I am, you might have trouble. At a certain point, you're going to kind of find that point of no return. Okay. Then this obviously goes together. And it's got a quick disconnect. See in there? It's got plug. See in here how there's 2 pins? And then there's screws. Show them the screw threads. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I mean, it'd probably be easier to do this if I didn't have this on my body right now. But just to make it as easy as possible, I'm going to just try it without even taking it off. Okay, so that's all the way in there. And then this spins on. It's got a little indication. It says tighten, loosen. Well, it says lock and unlock, actually. Okay, so that's nice. Pretty simple stuff. I mean, it's definitely not super light.
So that's the shortest it can go, right?
Yes, that's the shortest it can go. And so it extends out, and it's not all the way built yet. Okay, so that's all the way up.
True.
So we have pretty high ceilings in this room. And like for me, I think this lanyard thing is not gonna really work that well. So I'm gonna probably take it off altogether because it's just kind of making it awkward. To be honest with you, if you're anything like me, you're gonna be reaching up and just like going all the way like this off of a ladder. So I'm strong enough to do it, but if you're at a steep enough angle, it's gonna be kind of hard to control. So let's go ahead and let this retract back. Nice handle here, nice handle here. It's like an octagonal design to it. So it's got a good octagonal, or it's not octagonal, it's probably more, it's like septagon. It's
like 10-sided.
Yeah, 10-sided. Is that what 10-sided is? Is
like
septagon?
No, it'd be like a decagon would be 10, deca something.
Okay, so inside of here, they've got, oh, guys, I cut my zip tie, or my Ziploc bag open. That was pretty dumb. So they have a contact us at service at Vanque, Vanque.net. We don't know how to say it. The Chinese are really good at coming up with names that are impossible to pronounce.
Yeah.
It's like just put a bunch of letters together, put a consonant in there, we're good to go.
Yeah, just leave out Q's. Just
yeah, like Q is not a good one. Okay, lots of warnings. Don't shoot your eye out. Yeah, make sure you pack a lunch. You might get hungry. Never operate and damaged incomplete. They got a lot. Emergencies. Okay. Man, that's a lot. That was like 7 pages of warnings. Holy cow. Done. They obviously didn't know who they sent this to. Okay, there's your parts breakdown. Okay, so now talking about the chain. If you're not familiar with chains, bar and chain oil is necessary to keep this thing lubricated. Bar and chain oil is similar to like a motor oil, a little bit thicker viscosity. We buy it in like gallon jugs or 2-gallon jugs because we burn through it fast.
Yeah.
So look at this. They have a size on here. So that's a
nice.
E50S-33E. You have to be careful about kickback. This is going to be way out there and you're going to have a lot of leverage. So be careful. All right. So the way you put this all together, there's a protective guard that comes with it. That's nice. I think I'm going to just flip this on its side so you guys can get a view of what I'm doing here. So this thing is going to ultimately slide back and forth to tension. And it looks like this is going to go onto that. So it's similar to other chainsaws we've worked with. Oh, nope, just goes like that. Pretty simple stuff. And then camera crew, would you see that? That's actually what's going to go down onto it. See, it's got the screw design there. So it's quite simple to do.
You have to put the chain on.
Yeah, you do, but I'm just doing this so that I can show people how this works without having to worry about getting cut. I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing this right. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just threading on there. Okay, so pretty simple, and then there's an idler pulley up here. Got to unlock it first, then you can spin the whole shebang, but you see how that's pulling it in and pushing it out? It's kind of interesting. See that? See how it moves it in and out?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's supposed to happen. Oh yeah, it is. So you don't have to actually open it, because normally there'd be like a screw and you would make adjustments.
So you just have to get past the point of it being tight and then it adjusts.
Okay, so you see how I did that? And then this cam, if you want to call it that, that locks onto this and pulls it forward and backward, okay? So in this case, I'm going to cut this chain open. Only tools we've used is just a knife, nothing fancy. Everything else came with it. That's empty now. Just danger is all I cut off there. So we're just going to throw this chain on right now. If you guys don't know how to put a chain on, we'll show you that right now. So this is going to be oily. So if you're pansy like me and you want to keep your hands clean, put gloves on now. Okay, so this is the business end of the transaction here. Okay, so these are sharp. So just be aware when you're handling these, they can cut you, and they will if you're not careful. So this is the part that cuts, and that's a protector. So it brings the product up and out, and so it cuts a certain depth. So it's a depth gauge, okay? So once you untangle, it's kind of weird. You have to untangle these things a little bit, but it's pretty simple. Looks like a standard chain to me, just looks shorter. And then you want to make sure, you see the tooth there? You want to make sure it's coming off the top and cutting around, okay? So if you put it on there backward, it's not going to fit. Okay, so then I'm just going to slip this all the way back. And it seems like it's going to be really terrible when you first do this stuff, because if you've never put together a chainsaw, you're like, holy crap, how do you get that thing to line up? It's actually pretty easy. There's 2 ways to do it. I usually put it on the bar. This is called the bar. And I line it up like this, and then let them kind of fall down in, okay? And then I just lay this into the mechanism. Okay, so it's on there. There you go. Okay. And then that tensions. You see how that tensions? And you can see now that oil and grease and stuff. It's on my fingers. So remember, this is going to get messy, and it's going to automatically lubricate itself. And that's where the lubricant usually slips out, I think. and it'll be a huge mess no matter what you do. So don't expect this thing to stay pretty like this. It ain't gonna be pretty. In fact, it's gonna be very ugly by the time you're done. Okay, so just screwing that down. And after you start getting tight, it starts pushing it out. And I think that's all the way down. So now I'm just gonna lock it by turning this. And then that's eventually going to purchase and hold it all together. So just, again, totally toolless installation, which is nice. Okay, I suspect that's tight. Now this jam nut's tight and this is tight. And you can see that the chain is probably over tensioned. So I need to loosen this to the point where I can turn it. Shouldn't have gone quite so tight. Now I'm gonna back this off. Okay, so I usually like to have a little bit of clearance. Well, that's a lot. Something like that's probably about right. You want a little bit of slop on there. If you don't have any slop, you'll have slop in a few minutes when you warm it up. Okay, and when I say warm it up, I mean you'll actually heat up the chain and it will stretch out. And then as it wears on the drive side of the tooth, then you'll actually have a little bit more clearance as well. And so you do have to periodically tighten that, just like with any other chainsaw you may have used in the past. Okay, so let's see how this thing balances, and this is gonna be on, so be careful.
Oh, okay.
So we're just gonna put that on. Now it's not fully charged, so don't reserve your judgment for that. Okay, now you see this? This allows you to set the pivot angle. Okay, so you can go like that, you can go straight, you can go down, and there's really only kind of 3 positions. Okay, so that's the middle position.
Okay.
So give me some room here. And I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna grab it with my right hand. Look at the cat. Look at the cat's reaction. She's like, get me the heck out of here. Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty good. I would say that you'll want to be super careful, obviously, with this. And the other thing you want to think about is the stuff that's going to come out. You know, the dust and debris is going to tend to fall down on you. So try to stay away from it as much as you can and still get the job done. It seems like it's spinning fast enough to cut. But now we'll actually, I mean, we're gonna test this for you. You probably already seen it at the very beginning of the video, but now that you've seen how it goes together, let's check this. This is the, you know, just the guard. So the guard, of course, is gonna go around here. Now be careful, it's an electric chainsaw. So ordinarily you'd have to start the engine and all that stuff. Well, this one, you don't have to do that. You just basically put it together and it goes. There is only one safety, and I wouldn't recommend running this with the cover on. It probably will tear up your cover, so be careful. I'm gonna unplug that. You have to press this down. It takes a fair amount of pressure, but it seems solid. The interesting part is that says red, orange, and green, but I don't know what that exactly means. It seems a little bit counterintuitive to me. It seems like it'd be fully charged in that event. But then this goes to red and it stayed red the whole time we filmed. So bar and chain oil, what we'll do is we'll pause and we'll actually fill this little bottle up with bar and chain oil, and then we'll show you, because maybe that'll be like a huge hassle and I don't want to leave that out because it is kind of a detail of this setup. So we'll be right back. Okay, so in preparing to go to the next stage of our video, I was just studying this bottle and I'm like, how are you ever gonna fill this thing up with bar and chain oil? Like you're gonna have to like squeeze and then suck it out. But that is such a thick fluid, I just don't see it going in here. Well, then if you pull that cap off, which is easy when it's clean and dry, that's still a very small opening, okay? Yeah. So I don't know exactly how we're gonna do that, but if you get bar and chain oil specifically for this object, this tool, and you're not sharing it with other tools, I would recommend you get one in a smaller bottle that has a tip that can be cut with scissors or a knife. Because the ones we use have a big size. Yeah. Like, you know, it's huge. So you're not gonna be able to pour into this. I also noticed the second thing I wanted to point out. This bottle looks like it's supposed to be designed so that you can stick that in there, but then the thumb releases make it so that you can't really get purchase. Because look at this. this is actually a vent. You see how that's slit? So you could hypothetically squeeze into it, but like you're gonna have to have a longer spout to be able to get into that. So I don't know, I mean, given that this came with it, it works pretty weird.
Yeah.
So I would say at this point, we're probably more likely to just go out, put it on the back of the truck, and then just kind of see if we can fill it, which is what we're gonna do now. Stay tuned. Okay, so once again, we've lied. It's green. So we're gonna actually put the battery on. And don't worry, we're not gonna go cut trees in the dark. But I just wanted you guys to see, going through doorways, like we have this mudroom in our house. I don't know if you guys have a mudroom, but I was curious like how terrible this is gonna be to get through doors. So rather than go through our front door, which happens to be a tall door, I wanna go through a normal door. And I just want you guys to see, this is fully retracted, okay? So it is still pretty big. So if you were to fold this, all things considered, you can take this apart and it goes in half. Then it's not so big. So suppose you're trying to put this in your car and you've got, you know, limited space. You don't have 40, 60, 40 seats. I want you to see how much of a struggle it may or may not be to get into the mud room and then out the door. Okay? So we got a little bit of a spatial issue there because this is gonna have oil in it. So make sure that that's upright. Okay, I don't believe it's gonna leak, but we'll test that for you. Turn the lights on in the mud room. And we'll just go through kind of like a standard, what is this, like a 34-inch door, 32-inch door, something like that?
Something like that.
Okay, so you got it? And we're just gonna walk out in the garage. Clearance is totally fine. It's actually pretty easy to get through. I didn't know if that was gonna be a factor or not. And then a lot of you guys are gonna wanna hang them on a tool wall or something to this extent. And so I'm thinking that's a really nice way to hang it with that fixture there, because that screw will go right through it. That's just like a number 2 Phillips screw. Well, that's pretty nice. So we'll have an immediate place to store it. That's always nice. Worst part of having tools is storing them. And okay, so now we've got this as a, you know, somewhat workable height. It's just out of regular. This is a 3/4 ton pickup. Not that it matters, but if you're curious how that's going to work in your application, it's gonna be a little awkward to fill that out in the field, I think, because the hole is so small. So I'm gonna use gloves because I'm a clean freak. And what we're gonna use is regular bar and chain oil. There's nothing special about this. It's the cheapest, junkiest stuff you can get. And you're gonna burn through a ton of it. So just be aware. They say every 10 minutes of runtime you need to fill it.
Yep.
Okay.
And there is like a little window. It's kind of dark out here, but there's a little window here.
You could turn the flash on. This is actually an oil bottle that we had from I think it was a transmission case oil sort of thing. And we ended up getting one of these oil flexible tubes. That might be the ticket for this application, okay? Because that, look, even with that, you're still talking about a pretty tight squeeze. It's got the silicone tip, okay? So this will adapt to a few different types of bottles. So maybe we'll link to this as well. I mean, it's nothing super special. We're, of course, reviewing this product, but part of the reason you come to Brian Phillips RC is we try to go into depth on this. Okay, so we'll just use this as a shelf because it's easy. And this is just whatever cheapest junk we could get at Menards that day. And we burned through a ton of it. So what I would suggest you do is, if you can pour it out of this directly into your machine, you're a magic person, okay? So you see, that's a big opening.
Yeah.
There is no way you're gonna fill that thing up. Show the people how small that is compared to the opening. It's like dinky, guys. So my concern is, if you tried to pour that, even if you were really, really careful about how slow you did it, it's just gonna like overfill at the end.
Yep.
And so what I'm gonna try first is I'm gonna see if I can thread this on. It's got a couple of different threads on it. So we'll see if we can do this. And this is always a huge mess if you don't have paper towels handy. So we're gonna pause and have paper towels handy. Okay, so I got just run-of-the-mill cardboard from the garbage can, and I'm just gonna put that down there to catch this. And this is probably about, something like that left in it. So it's gonna be a little bit better than if it was brand new. So just keep this all in mind when you're making your decisions about this product. I note that it's wanting to roll the way I've got it set on my tonneau cover, and I don't want this to spill. Can you show them what I'm talking about back there? See how it's twisting? What I am going to do is I'm going to take this battery because it's flat, and I'm going to set it there. And you see how it wants to tip on me? So I'm going to see if I can get it to a position where it won't tip. Because as soon as that thing tips, you're going to have oil all over the place. Okay. Remember, this is something you have to do a lot when you're actually running the chainsaw. So you need to know that this works. This is probably one of the biggest things you're going to see on this review. Of course, the Chinese people, they'll be like, it works good no matter what. You don't have to do any maintenance.
You're almost full. Stop.
How did you see that?
I'm watching the marker indicator over here.
Oh, it says max. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So in that case, there is a min-max. I couldn't see it while I was pouring, but of course we're trying to film, so you may not have that same problem. Now what we're gonna do is just, you know, because we're gonna put it all out there for you on YouTube, we're gonna flip this thing upside down right now and see how terrible the leak is.
Okay.
My guess is it won't leak at all because it's actually a pretty good design so far. I'm impressed with how simple it's been. And remember, this might be over your head while you're doing it. So we're just gonna, did it drip?
Nope, not yet.
Let's just let it sit there. I'm actually having to hold it because you know, like where the motor is and everything, it wants to kind of rotate around. So I think we're okay. Now keep in mind, if you were to run this right now, which you could, it's gonna spread oil onto the chain, and that's the way it's supposed to operate, okay? So I think it's actually pretty good. Let's see if it self-lubricates worth a darn. And the way I'm gonna test that is I'm gonna actually run the chainsaw into or above this, and we'll just kind of move it out of the way and pull the cover off. And obviously that chain has to be running to kick out the oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk this over here. And if you wanna just keep a safe distance there, camera crew, but get close enough to see. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so. Okay, so I'm not seeing any oil. Oh yeah, there's oil. There's oil splatters. Not very much, which is actually kind of cool. Oh look, what's that? Did that come off of there? Is that a slug?
Oh.
Oh no, it's like grease. Okay, I can live with that.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's oil coming out, which is great. And I'm very happy with how little oil comes out. Because normally a chainsaw will make a huge mess when you do that. So now that we're outside, I'm curious just how awkward it's gonna be to do the safety. And bear in mind that you're gonna be up against a tree or a branch, and you're gonna have something bracing this. So I'm curious how this brace is going to work, because you're gonna butt that up against the branch and it's gonna sit up there, and then of course, you know, I don't want to put my hand in there and get somehow cut, but this looks like it's gonna work pretty good. So I'm excited about it. Now, you guys have already seen this work, and if you like the way it worked in the video, or maybe you like us, or you're curious about this, and if for no other reason, you just curiosity killed the cat, you wanna get one of these, follow the link in the video description below. You can buy one for yourself. Obviously, we do radio controlled airplanes. We do all sorts of other things, the aviation lifestyle, obviously the farm stuff. We do all this stuff on our YouTube channel for a reason, because part of what we do is we talk about how we're living the life that we want to live, which is flying radio controlled airplanes, PPG. Of course, we got the PPG gear here. We got the e-bikes. It's all the different stuff that we're interested in. And we know that you guys are too. But really a big part of that is facilitating that lifestyle. And in our case, we've chosen to get some property and really kind of make for ourselves our, you know, private runway and all this stuff. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. And the reason we share so much of this with you is because it is kind of a big part of our life, this whole YouTube experience, and we want to bring you along with us. And like I said, I mean, probably for the majority of you, it's going to be more along the lines of, I go to a flying field, you know, I belong to this club, you know, we spend a couple $100 a year for dues or whatever it is. And we just go out there. Maybe I have to run a 0 turn to, you know, cut the grass every 6th weekend or whatever it is. But for us, it's like we're doing it all ourselves, and it's a lot of work. And we have a lot of property because we want to have control of it. And a big part of the reason we want that is because of the YouTube channel. So just keep in mind, you know, some of the stuff we share may seem a little bit off topic, but really it's all part of the bigger picture. And that is the amount of room we need, the type of lifestyle we want to live, what we want to do on our property, around our property, in the air above our property and around our property. It's all covered. And so a big part of it for us is taking care of the property. And so if you haven't already connected the dots, which I'm sure most of you have, this is something that's important to us. It ends up enriching our lives. And it's an economical way to do it. We've done it the manual way. We have a clipper over here. We have used that a million times. You know what? We almost never use the saw on that thing. It works great as a trimmer for pruning small branches and things like that. But I never felt like it worked good. If you had a 3-inch or 4-inch thing to cut, you'd be there for 4 years cutting that thing off. So we just didn't feel like it worked good. And so we've had our eye on a few of these actually for years. And, you know, so here it is. We're going to see how this one works. And if it works terrible, you already know.
And the other thing, you know, behind us showing some of the maintenance part of it is if you're looking at what we're doing and thinking, oh, I could do that, or it's easy or whatever. And if you didn't grow up in the country or grow up on a farm, this stuff isn't all second nature, and not everyone just knows how to hook up a drum mower and go cut hay.
Yeah.
So we want you to see realistically, if you're looking at this and thinking,
I can do that.
I want to have 10 or 20 acres. I want to do that. This is what you're going to do.
It's called a reality check. And we've gone way out of our way to help bring you guys up to speed. And so for that, we know that, you know, a chunk of our audience is going to be maybe not super interested in this part of it. And so we get that. That's okay. We don't hold it against anybody. But if you're into it and you're curious about what we've done to get where we are, and you want to know kind of, you know, the best thing you can do if you want to emulate something that somebody else has done, the best thing you do, smartest thing you can do is ask a lot of questions. In our case, watch our videos, because we'll teach you what we know, which sometimes it's wrong. And we learn the hard way with you. You get to watch. But a lot of what we do, we know what we're doing, or we're in the process of learning how to do it, or we are already good at it. And so we're going to teach you as much as we can so that you can be a little bit better than you were yesterday, and maybe a little bit closer to getting your own property, or, you know, taking care of your own property. Maybe you inherited some property from family, and we want to help you along the way as much as we can. So if you have questions, if you have comments, leave them in the comments below. We do reply to comments. We try to do 100% of them, and that is getting harder as the channel's grown, but we still pretty much do it. Might take a week sometimes. So if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. Sometimes other people jump in and answer them, but generally I try to answer them myself. And me and the camera crew and the family are eternally grateful for all of you in the audience that have helped get us in a situation to be able to do reviews like this on cool products like this from companies like Vanque or Vanquish, whatever it is, Vanque.
That's my vote.
You think it's Vanque? So we're excited to partner up with companies like this and show you some different products that are a little bit off the wall, but I'm excited to try it. And to be honest with you, I have a few branches that have been driving me nuts, and I can't wait to cut them down. So hopefully you guys already saw that at the beginning, and you're interested, and you're like, okay, tell me more. So you stayed tuned for the unbox and the build part, which I didn't realize there was going to be a build involved in this.
It wasn't bad though.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Just a couple of minutes.
Yep.
So real happy with the way it went together. Happy with the build quality. It seems like it's going to be sturdy enough to do the job and not so heavy that you can't get up there and really get it where you need it. So we'll see. Sometimes these things look like they're going to work great, and then you get them up there and they just want to skip off of the tree. So we're going to see how this turns out. And you guys have already seen it. So without further ado, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Also check out www.brianphillipsrc.com. for the latest. We're going to try to keep that up to date so that you guys have shortcuts to whatever it is you want to see on the channel. We understand that YouTube, we think it's pretty good for search results and things like that. But if you're trying to search just Brian Phillips RC, sometimes it gets a little hard. As creators, we have tools that you guys don't always have. So if you go to www.brianphillipsrc.com, you can see links and descriptions, and there'll be different categories at some point, but Megan's been working on that like crazy. And so if you want to show us a little bit of support, go out there and you'll see the same items that are linked in the video description below over there, but we're limited on how much we can put in the video description below. So over there, you'll be able to see an exhaustive list at some point. So for now, and in the meantime, if you want to support us, give us a like, subscribe, tell your friends about the videos, share them on social media, and that really does help us to grow as a channel. But then also we have Patreon, which is a monthly support where you send money, and then PayPal, of course, one time. And then the best and easiest way to support us financially, if you're interested, is to buy the random products that we review and or the airplanes or equipment that we evaluate, sometimes services, things like that. And what happens is most of the companies we work with send small commissions. Some of them give you guys discounts too. It just depends on the product, depends on the style. But you never pay any more to help support us in that regard. So we really appreciate you guys doing that. And, you know, as always, we're truthful about our reviews. Obviously, we want to try to be fair to the companies that work with us. But at the same time, if this thing's garbage, then we're going to tell you it's garbage and we won't be working with them anymore. So come back for more honest reviews. And obviously, if you haven't figured out yet, we love aviation, we love RC, and we do a lot of it here on Brian Phillips RC. So stay tuned. So much more to come. Thanks for watching.
Okay, we're back on Brian Phillips RC. And I'm not sure how much of this I'm supposed to be narrating. But we just finished filming our little Vanque, the telescopic chainsaw. Brian cut down a half a dozen or so limbs in that video. And then the kids and I came out to help him clear those branches, which we did in not very much time at all. He brought his chainsaw out, his regular steel chainsaw, and we cut up the limbs and we threw them where we throw brush. Our 12-year-old is helping. And I'm gonna try and like not scream when this goes. There, it's cracking. There it goes. Holy. Oh my goodness. Look, it's a bridge.
Well, that was so much easier than shooting it 327 times.
Cheaper too.
Wow.
Okay.
Now the work begins.
Yeah.
The kids are excited for it.
You lied. They're watching from way back there.
Okay. Well, nobody died yet.
Great. Okay. I was going to show how big it is. That was a big tree. So, diameter. How big is your chainsaw?
Not big enough. There wasn't enough horsepower.
No. That was hard on that chainsaw.
This is hardwood too. I think
Yeah.
it's hickory.
Even though it's... No, this is a hackberry.
Hackberry?
Yeah.
Oh, it was hard to cut.
But it's hardwood.
My chain's in bad shape.
Yeah.